She collected thousands for cancel bills, then admitted she wanted to keep it. In our little town of Westbridge, my 9-year-old daughter Leela decided to help a classmate Mason, who just returned to school after months of chemo. He was a ghost of himself, shaved head, paper-thin arms, trying to smile for his friends before fatigue pulled him home by lunch. Leela came through the door that night with a fierce look kids shouldn't know, declaring she was going to raise money to help his parents with hospital bills. She made posters with glittered stars and taped them to corner store windows. She stood outside the grocery with a donation jar, rehearsing the speech she practiced in the bathroom here. Parents pressed bills into her hand with sad smiles. She counted it all at the kitchen table, whispering, "This will help," like a prayer. By Friday, the total was nearly $5,000. I'd never been prouder. The next morning, I couldn't drive her. I tucked the envelope into her backpack and told her to hand it to Miss Porter first thing. I bragged about her all day, texted family, told a coworker, said, "That kid's heart is bigger than this town." Then my phone lit up after my shift, 10 missed calls from the school. When I called back, the secretary's voice sounded tight. "We're waiting in the office for the funds your daughter raised." I said, "She brought it in this morning." Silence. Paper shuffling. "Sir, there's no money here. Miss Porter never received it." They started implying things. Words like misplaced and verified turned into the ugliest ones. Stolen. I called Leela. My voice came out harsher than I meant. "Where's the envelope?" She whispered, "Check my room." I hung up, drove home like the car was on fire, and went straight to her bed. The envelope was there, heavy and intact, pushed far back against the wall. I stared at it so long my vision blurred. I went back to school and signed her out. We sat at the dining table with the cash between us like a third person. "Why?" I asked, forcing my voice gentle. "Why didn't you give it to Miss Porter?" She didn't cry, she didn't even look scared. She just said almost calmly, "I intended to keep it." Everything inside me went quiet, not angry, empty. The kind of quiet where a father counts all the ways he must have failed without knowing it. I asked again, softer, "Why?" She picked at a thread on her sleeve. "Because when I was outside the store, people said I was a good person. They smiled, they saw me." She paused, and I thought, if I bring the money to school, it will disappear and it won't feel like anything anymore. It wasn't greed in her eyes. It was something worse. A 9-year-old bargaining with attention because the world had taught her that praise is the only proof goodness happened. I realized that she didn't understand that giving is the feeling, that it's not supposed to make anyone famous. I told her we were going back together. We walked into the school with the envelope and she placed it in Miss Porter's hands. No ceremony, no clapping, just a receipt and a thank you that sounded tired. In the hallway afterward, Leela squeezed my hand and whispered, "Do you think you'll feel better now?" I said the only honest thing I could. "I don't know, but this helps." That night when the house was quiet, the anger finally arrived. Not at her, but at the slow, invisible currents that make a child confuse applause with goodness. I lay awake replaying every moment I'd celebrated her for being impressive instead of kind. In the morning, I wrote a note to Mason's parents with her number and tucked a grocery gift card inside. Leela signed her name in block letters and drew a little star. "We're learning. Next time we'll carry the envelope together the first hour of the first day, and I'll make sure she knows, really knows, that doing the right thing matters even when no one sees it, and especially when they do." Subscribe to Flash Story and hit like.